Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to All Things Division 3 Soccer with SimpleCoach and Jackie. I am SimpleCoach. And Jackie's just been up. She just curled up and went to bed. I thought she'd be a little bit awake and alert, especially for this one. So before I get to the top 25s, which is why everyone has joined me, the poll of polls, the Ring of Power. Just a couple of items. First of all, I apologize. I'm sort of delayed. Last week I had a lot of, I think I mentioned this on the recent episode of the news show. I had a kind of a hectic work schedule. Yes, YouTube influencing doesn't pay me the millions that I anticipated. So everything sort of got pushed back, and I'm just trying to get over. So that's why the new show was this week, not last week. The top 25s are coming out today on Wednesday. I have 2 Fields of Dreams, really cool ones. Really excited about those that are sort of in different editing processes. And I got a couple other things working. So I'm not ready to make announcements on that, but yeah, so just a little slow. So I apologize for that. Just want to give a shout out to my Patreon members who have also sort of doing so much, a bit more that I haven't given a shout out to them all for all their support and appreciation for that as I continue to try to build out some things that I think are going to entertain the all of you D3 nut jobs out there. So. All right, so that was that. All right, so, you know what? I got nothing else. Let's just jump right into the top 25s, as I always do. Ladies first. Right, so as I mentioned, here we are with the ladies. So I'm going to have to put my spectacles on, or a pair of spectacles, so I can actually see this. And I apologize, my hat. Let's see if I can hold this up higher. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so number 25, I have a new to the ranking, Center College. They've had a really good, solid season so far, and their only loss was to Wash U, which is completely respectable. Right? Also new, the women's side of North Central. What are they feeding these folks at North Central? 13-2. You know, since they lost to Calvin back in the middle of September, they have not lost a game. So they're undefeatable. And I think they could go 15-1-1, just looking at their schedule. So also, you know, here I am. I'm an equal opportunity, or Jackie's an equal opportunity poll picker. So Carlton also another one, 12-1-1. Fantastic season. And no pressure, but I think they can go 15-1-1 by the end of the year. They got 3 more games. So okay, number 22 comes Swarthmore, down a spot, winning a tie. They're 10-2. You know, they did tie a very good Hopkins team at home, and then they beat Dickinson. So I think that was yeah. Also at 11-2, down in Tejas, 11-0. Hardin Simmons down 2 spots. They had wins against Howard Payne and Sol Ross. So, but they have a big game tomorrow. Today's October the 18th. Tomorrow, October the 19th, Thursday, they play Mary Hardin Baylor. So that should be a banger of a game. It's actually one of my games of the week. So next up, down 7, which is harsh. That's a harsh ranking by the committee. Wisconsin Lacrosse, 12-1-1. They tied a very good Milwaukee School of Engineering, and then they beat Wisconsin River Falls. And yeah, harsh ranking, but I think it's a condition of people moving up, right? So, um, okay, next up, NYU at 10-2, down 2 spots. They beat DeSales, and then they lost at home to WashU. So, next up, Loras at 12-1. They are up 4 spots. They had 2 straight wins. They beat Wartburg and then a very good Simpson team. So I actually watched some of that game. I was impressed with Simpson. So MIT 12-1, up 7 spots. They beat Salve Regina and away at Leslie today on the 18th. Wednesday, they play a very good Babson. So, yeah. Cal Lutheran coming in the 16th spot, 11-0-3, down a spot with a win and a tie. They tied Pomona Pitzer, and then they followed it up with a win against the Banana Slugs of UC Santa Cruz. Speaking of, next up, 15th, 11-0-2, down 3 spots, Pomona Pitzer, win and a tie. They tied Cal Lutheran, and then they beat University of the Redlands. And in number 14, first of the jerseys, Rowan, 10-0-2, up 2 spots. They beat Rutgers Camden and Ramapo. Today, the 18th, they have a big, big match against College of New Jersey. So that should be a good one. That should be a tough one. I might tune into that. I'm not sure. I think it's at TCNJ. Maybe I could get to it. No, we'll see. Okay. Next up, Calvin Knights at 12-0-2, up 5 spots. This team impresses me. I think they very organized, really solid defensively. Everyone does their role very well. But they had solid wins against Adrian and away at Trine. Okay, next up, University of Paywall, Rochester ladies, who still have me banned on Twitter or blocked on Exeter. That's what I'm calling Twitter, X, whatever. Exeter. But I'm a nice guy. But anyhow, 9-0-4, they're down 5 spots. They handedly beat Buffalo State, and they had a tie against Case Western. Is that harsh? Was that a harsh drop? Maybe. Yeah, I think so. That's probably a little harsh, but anyhow. Next up, number 11, Messiah, the Falcons, 11-2, up 3 spots. They went away and they beat Gettysburg and Eastern. I still think this team has legs to go pretty far in the tournament. So. Okay, and now the top 10s. Here we go. Number 10, down 2 spots, William Smith of Hobart and Smith at 8-0-3, down 2 spots. Yeah, kind of harsh. Like I said, I think it's a condition. There's some teams that are moving up. I think justifiably so. They had wins against Union and RPI, their last 2 wins. So, okay, number 9. Here we go. Another Jersey team, College of New Jersey, up 2 spots at 11-1-1. They had 2 more wins against Richard Stockton and away at a very good Montclair State. Like I had mentioned, they are playing Rowan today. So a lot of movement here between those two. Next up, 8 at 10-2, up 1 with 2 more wins against Curry and Endicott. I think they can win the rest of the way out. So they could have 4. They could be at 13-2, 12-2 by the time the postseason rolls around. I'm having trouble judging Hartford. I think they're very good, and I think they could do battle in the tournament. I don't know that it's hard to like. I'm looking for them to play some really competitive matchups. So maybe their tournament will. I don't think they're in the tournament because they're still conditional. But anyhow, all right. So next up, number 7, Mary Hardin Baylor, the Crusaders, 12-0-1, down 2. Unfortunately, they're no longer undefeatable with the tie, and it was a surprise tie against UT Dallas. I think they should have taken that, but yeah. Also next up, down 3, Case Western at 10-0-2, perhaps a little harsh. They tied Rochester, University of Paywall. Who did I tell you still has me banned on Exeter? Okay. At 5, Johns Hopkins, 11-1-2, down 1. They had a win and a tie, win against Franklin and Marshall, and then they tied Swarthmore, which is a really, obviously, Swarthmore coming in at 22 on the national ranking. So not too shabby, but next up, the Mammoths of Amherst, 11-1-1. They're up 6 spots. In the last 2 games, they've scored 16 goals in their wins. Yeah, and they didn't lose those. So, down a spot. At 11-0-2, Carnegie Mellon, the Tartans. They tied Emory, and this was their second tie in a row. So I don't know if it's the condition of, they were playing Emory or what, but yeah. Which leaves number 2, drama, Christopher Newport, up 4 spots from last week. They had wins against Mary Washington and Southern Virginia. And I will say they have a big game today, the 18th, against Swarthmore, speaking of 22 in the country. So number 2 versus number 22. So that should be a heck of a game. That should be one heck of a game. And then which leaves number 1 in the country by the top, according to the SimpleCoach Top 25, remains Wash U, right? They're undefeatable, 12-0. They keep winning, still haven't conceded a goal. But let's be real, they're running a gauntlet here. So they play Carnegie Mellon on Friday the 20th. So in 2 days, they play Carnegie Mellon. And then on Sunday, they play Case Western Reserve. So there could be some determining games there for jockeying for position. So, okay, so that's the ladies, the top 10s. William Smith, 8-0-3. Number 9, College of New Jersey at 11-1-1. Number 8, Hartford at 10-2. Number 7, Mary Hardin Baylor at 12-0-1. Number 6, Case Western at 10-0-2. Number 5, Johns Hopkins, 11-1-2. Number 4, Amherst at 11-1-1. Number 3, Carnegie Mellon at 11-0-2. Number 2, Christopher Newport, 12-0-1. And then number 1, Washington University in St. Louis, 12-0, undefeatable, unscored. So, all right, and now let's progress on to the men. Let's do the men. Here we go. Okay, so I pulled the trigger At 9-2-1, Colorado College. I definitely think they definitely earned this. They beat Texas Lutheran, and then they face Trinity on Friday. So they've been mounting an impressive campaign. So well deserved. Up one at 24, Milwaukee School of Engineering, MSOE. Coach Rob One Take Harrington has his men 12-1-2. They had a win and a tie, and they tied a very good Aurora. Why can't I pronounce that team? 23 at 7-2-2, down a spot. Carter Poe's men. They tied University of Paywall at Rochester. So up 2 spots. Kenyon, Travis Wall getting them ready for the postseason. 11-3, up 2 spots, playing well and winning well. So seems like they've sort of shaken off the new coach stuff, and yeah. So number 21, St. Thomas Tejas, 10-2-1, same spot as last week. They had 2 good wins against Dallas U and Austin College, I think they are. So number 20, Lynchburg, 10-2-2, down 3 spots. They had a good win against Randolph, and then they had a pretty heartbreaking. It was a bomb of a goal that they scored, but they lost to Virginia Wesleyan with like 5 minutes left in the game. Like I said, with a bomb upper corner. So number 19, Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain's school, 7-1-4, Bowdoin, up 1. They tied Hamilton at Hamilton. So next up, 9-1-2 in Tejas, Trinity. They did it again. Same spot. They beat Shriner. They have a big game on Friday, as I mentioned, to Colorado College, number 25 ranked Colorado College. So that'll be and it's at Colorado College. So what a game! Number 17, John Carroll, the Blue Streaks. Coach Dayon getting his men really primed up. 11-2-1. They're up 6 spots. They're playing well, and they had 2 really good wins. One against BW, which is never an easy team to play, and then they beat Ohio Northern at Ohio Northern. So that's a notch on their belt. 16th, Christopher Newport, 9-1-2. Same spot as last week. They had a win and a tie. They beat St. Mary's, and then they had a great tie against Mary Washington. It's a little bit of a messy affair, a lot of rain, muddy. The field looked like it just took a beating. So okay, next up, defending national champions Chicago, 6-2-4. They're down 4 spots. They lost to NYU, then they tied Brandeis. They got a gauntlet. Like, really, this is a gauntlet for them this week. Could determine, they might, if they can't get points, they might drop out of the top 25 as far as I'm concerned. They play Case on Friday, which is going to be a banger, and then Carnegie Mellon on Sunday. So let's see. Next up, number 14, again, Minnesota. Carleton, 13-1, up 1. Since they lost to St. Olaf, they won 4 straight games. So, again, I try to stick to the rule where, like the regular season, I get the whole strength of schedule thing, but if you're winning day in and day out, like you should be rewarded for that. So I think they're deserving of their spot. So Next up, at 13, up one, 12-2, SUNY Oneonta. Since they lost to both Brockport and then Cortland, same thing, they won 3 in a row. Um, so okay, next up, the team that impresses me again, sort of like they did 2 years ago, Connecticut College. Coach Burke's men at 9-0-4. They're up a spot. Um, the team's impressive. I mean, they play some really good ball. Really good ball. Um, it, it's really and they seem to be sort of hungry for it, which again I questioned last year. They since they tied Williams a couple games ago, they beat the Coast Guard, and then they beat Colby. They have two big games coming up where they are away at Bates and then Wesleyan. So number 11, Montclair, down 5 spots at 12-2-1. I think it's the result of, look, they did beat College of New Jersey 4-0, but then they lost to Amherst at home, which was pretty contentious if you didn't get a chance to watch. A lot of pushy shovey stuff, and then a lot of at the end and at halftime, lots of going on, lots of talk. It seemed would have been fun to have been there, but so that's where they are. And then number 10, again, I think people, I don't know, I'm still go back and forth with this next one. Middlebury, 9-0-4. No doubt they're a great team. They tied Connecticut. Saturday they played Tufts, and then they will play Williams. I think the Tufts game will determine whether the hype is real about Middlebury. Sorry, I don't know. Like I said, there's something. I don't know if it's because they don't have some dynamic forward. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for, but yeah, I'm just sort of. I don't know. I'm waiting to see something else. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Next up. Sorry, that was number 10. So number 9. Here we go. Redlands, University of the Redlands, 10-1-1, down a spot. They beat Laverne, and then the end of season they traveled to Occidental and Cal Lutheran. The schedule says they play Laverne a second time at home, so I don't know if that's accurate, but at number 8, because the ladies can't have all the fun, Calvin men, 11-2-1, up 4 spots. They beat Adrian and Albion, and I think they can close out the season at 13-2-1. So number 7, yep, Coach Axtell, Cortland State, 11-2-2, up 2 spots. They beat Plattsburgh and they tied Brockport. They have 2 games coming up. They play New Paltz, which should be really interesting to watch, at New Paltz. And then they end the season at Oswego at home. So that should be real interesting. Down 4 spots. The one-time number 2, Mary Washington at 11-1-2. They tied Christopher Newport and then beat St. Mary's. The end of season looks like they play Salisbury away, maybe, and then they have Catholic at home, and then they play Christopher Newport again according to the schedule. So I think Catholic might give them a run. Although, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But then Christopher Newport is going to just be another crazy game. So at number 5, we have Tufts University, the Jumbos, Coach Desautel's men, 9-1-3, up 2 spots. They are really hitting on all cylinders, I think. They've sort of found their way and their rhythm. And then they head to Middlebury on Saturday, the 21st, and then to Bowdoin on Tuesday, the 24th. So I think that'll be that's going to be a rough right? I mean, 2 nationally ranked teams you play. I mean, that's where you want to be, but that's going to be tough. Okay, number 4, another NESCAC, Amherst, Coach Serpone, 9-2-2, up 1. They had a big win. Don't underestimate that win against Montclair, because I didn't think they were going to pull it off. I didn't think they had it to beat Montclair, because I thought this year's Montclair team is a little different, a little bit more cohesive as a team. But they did it. They brought the game to Montclair. So they wrap up with Hamilton and Trinity. So I legitimately think they'll go 11-2-2, or at least they should. So number 3, I'm giving the nod to the Diplomats of Franklin and Marshall, 11-1-2. They're up a spot. Had a big win against Johns Hopkins. It got crazy. The fact that they I think it was 4-1, and they sort of Hopkins clawed back to 4-3 causes me a little bit of distress for this choice, but they do end the season with Dickinson, Gettysburg, and then at Washington College, which could be a real big conference tournament game. So, but I think the way they're playing, I'll give them the nod for number 3, and then number 2, North Central, new number 2. They're up a spot, 12-1-2. They're playing remarkably well. There's a video on Exeter that where they score a goal on. I mean, it's designed on a board. Pass here, this, that, and it's really cool. So see if I can't find that. But so they tied North Park, and then they followed it with a win at Carroll. I think they should end the season at 15-1-2. And like I said, they're just playing remarkably well. And then lastly, unchanged again. I know, number 1 at 13-0-1. They keep winning. Messiah University, the Falcons, go Falcons. They end with Hood, Alvernia, and then away at Stevenson and York. And I am fully expecting for them to be 17-0-1 by the time the tournament rolls around. Their conference tournament rolls around. So, all right. So the top 10s for the men got Middlebury at 9-0-4. They got the Redlands at 10-1-1 at number 9. Number 8, Calvin 11-2-1. Cortland in 7th spot, 11-2-2. Mary Washington in the 5th spot, 11-1-2. Or 6th spot, I'm sorry. Tufts at number 5, 9-1-3. Amherst Mammoths at 9-2-2 in the 4th spot. Number 3, Franklin and Marshall Diplomats, 11-1-2. Number 2, North Central. Coach Ficino's really gotten them going, 12-1-2. Exciting to see. And then Messiah at 13-1. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. If you have any issues, concerns about my rankings, feel free to send an email. I will pass it on to Jackie. She's customer service. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts, by all means, down below, shoot me an email. I respond. Check out my Patreon page. And like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on here at SimpleCoach HQ that is going to be for the good of the D3 game, I hope. All right. Talk soon, and see you later.